Hi guys, it's Matt here, and I'm so pleased to be joined by Niamh Kavanagh. We're here at the EuroStarz event in London. Niamh, how are you?
Oh, well, I'm tickety-boo. I'm very excited to be in London. It's been a while. I think I did a Eurovision event here back in 2010 as one of the entrants. Do you remember when I didn't win that one? But, I did win the show, though.
You did indeed. Is this your first gig since COVID?
No, I've been gigging on and off, but my first Eurovision gig, shall we say, apart from the little links that I did for Eurovision over the lockdown. It's a bit of a funny old time for everybody, and it's such a lovely thing to get in the room with people. I think that's what I'm most looking forward to, Matt.
Yes, absolutely. And as we know, you represented Ireland in 2010 and in 93 as well.
Mm-hmm.
In 93 you were on home soil, but in 2010 you were over in Norway.
Mm-hmm.
How did the two contests compare for you?
Well, obviously, the second one was much longer than the first one. Let's be honest, lads. Like, we all know that when you're doing the contest, it used to be just a week, so you only needed stamina enough for that. I just admire the fans because they have stamina for 2 weeks on a regular basis, honestly, and they party hearty like for the whole time. I think I'd most like to come back someday when I'm not actually singing, so I can actually party hearty. Usually, I have to be really good and mind the voice and all. You'd love it though, wouldn't you? So basically 2010 was longer. Obviously that's the big thing. But for me, the essence of the competition was still the same, except I did 8 shows instead of 4. Because obviously you do 3 dress rehearsals and the show. So that feels like you do the show 4 times. So essentially I did 8 shows in a row because we were in the second semi-final. And there was a lot more entrants. So it was a little bit more difficult to get to know everybody. Although, the Greeks definitely went out of their way to make sure they knew me.
Oh, great. So, and as we know, you won the contest in 93.
Mm-hmm.
How did your life change once you won the Eurovision?
Goodness me, how did it change? Well, I stopped working in the bank for a start. Obviously, I still gigged before that. I think there's an impression that I just worked in the bank, but I actually was working in music very high level, but I kept my day job so I wouldn't have to, take gigs I didn't want to do and just keep my mother happy, to be honest. But actually, I got to record albums. I still get to travel. I'm 34 years in the industry now, so it's 28 since I won. And I suppose the biggest change was that music became my full-time job, which is really fabulous. And it still continues to be fabulous. And the great thing about Eurovision is like the gift that keeps on giving. Every year you get a little tickle from something. It's nice.
That's it. And did you think that you would actually go on to win in 93?
No, I did not. I didn't even think I'd win the national, let alone the Eurovision. Not that I didn't think the song was great. I wouldn't have sung it if I didn't. But you have to be prepared when you get involved that maybe that just mightn't be what they're looking for. Especially now that the public are involved, they're very definite about what they like. As we know when we see the voting, it's very dramatic now that the public vote is separate from the actual jury vote. It makes such a big difference.
Yeah, and I remember the voting as well in 93 when it was sort of you against the UK. That must have been really quite nervous for you.
Not nervous for me at all. I think a little bit more nervous for Sonia, but what, actually, to be fair, I was fine all the way through until about the last 3, and then it's a little bit stressful because you're kind of within you're going, oh my goodness, we could do this, but I don't know that I expected it, so I think I was a bit more relaxed. But the one thing you don't actually think about is the fact that you've got to go back out and sing it, and that's a bit of a faff. And you haven't got any makeup left on you because you've spent 2 hours kind of sitting in the green room and having too much of a good time. I think it's a very funny feeling because I didn't expect it. And then, of course, because Malta voted out of order, as we all know, we had a false positive, so everybody thought we'd won and then realised there was still one more to go. And let's be honest, it was the best TV because it literally went down to the last 12, The last time I was here, I got a lot of stick for beating Sonia, and making Paul Jordan cry. And all I'm going to say is I still don't care.
Okay, so and as we know, we are here at the EuroStarz tonight. What can we expect to hear from you this evening?
Oh, I'm pure classic Eurovision tonight. It's
Brilliant.
All old classic. It's going to be boom bang a bang, puppet on a string.
Great.
I might do mine. I'm not sure. It depends on how good you are. If you're good for me, I'll be good to you.